You want to make sure that you're hitting a few different pillars of your content. So you're wanting things that people like tips that people can bookmark or send. You're wanting to be out local. Um, a little bit about your business. You don't want your page to just be all business. So it's a lot of the education, and then just personal stuff. Building your brand is another one. Hey, welcome back to Real Estateable, your go-to podcast for raw, real, and relevant information in the real estate world. Today, we are getting real with reels. So we are given some of our top tips on how to make the reels, what you should be including in your content, and overcoming your fear.
I was just going to say the same thing, like overcoming any excuses that you have, because I got them all. Ashlee is really great at this, and she is going to share all of her trade secrets and really systemizing, making sure that you just break through those excuses and get a plan in place for success.
All right, let's dive in. All right, guys. So we have been going to different, conferences and education. I do a lot of research on social media. By no means am I an expert, but I would say my top tip is just to have fun. So when I'm thinking and creating content, I'm kind of looking at what is relatable, like what reels have I watched that I've laughed at, or I'm like, oh my gosh, that's totally me in a transaction, or this is what my life is at home, and just kind of relating to other people's reels and then recreating it. It doesn't have to be something that's totally original. We experience a lot of the same things in this industry, so it's fine to, recreate it.
Well, I think too, like I exactly what you just said. Like one of the first things that she said was like, what are you guys drawn to? Like when you're scrolling through reels, because our dirty secret is all of us do that. And so if you think about like what stops your scroll, like what stops you from swiping on to the next reel. Now, granted, we are all seeing different algorithms. So different things, like it might be a massive amount of cooking reels, or it might be a massive amount of kids things, etc. But I think that really reels and keeping it real with them should be an extension of you. So it does not have to be, and it should not be all about real estate, and it should be all about you. And so I think that you kind of need to break through the fact that it needs to be marketing all about how to list a home, and here's my 5 tips and best way to find the best agent to work with. And all, yes, that should be part of it, but really you've got to get people to know, like, and trust you. And reels and keeping it real with those are really, I mean, honestly, the best way to do that.
Yeah, I agree. My biggest thing, so I'm revamping my social right now. I've been talking with Tiffany about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so pumped about, you know, this new social strategy I'm trying and do different programs. And I'm very much so a tester of technologies. I've tried out all the CRMs and different social things, and like Bomb and things like that, where I like the new technology. I'm kind of a nerd like that. So one thing that I'm using now to make my posting easier is called Later, and it's an app, and a website, and you can schedule all your content. The difference between this and scheduling through Meta's only Facebook and Instagram. This one can share to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, TikTok,
Everything.
and I think you can add other ones as well. But I'm focusing on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And that, what's the cost for that you're paying for those posting services?
I think it's $5 a month.
Yeah. So like pennies.
Yeah, it's money well spent, because now I have content scheduled for me like all week.
So do you think that changes the your impressions that you're getting and the reach that you're getting? Do you feel like it's just basically the same? I know as you're growing, it's hard to see, oh, wow, I just tripled, but is it at least the same as when you were posting on demand?
I think so. I'm kind of just scheduling when, my followers are active, so that mine is typically between like 6 and 9 in the morning, on the weekdays. So I'm trying to keep my posts in that time frame. My other popular time is like 7 to 9.
And where do you find that? How do you know when your followers are active?
you can I think that so I'm really new to using Later. So disclaimer on that. I think it will show you on there, but you can
Okay.
also look on Meta or Instagram and your professional dashboard will tell you your insights and you can get all of that broken down so that you know.
Yeah, that's interesting because 6 to 9 a.m. may not be the circle that you guys are talking with. So, really good to think about that. And I also think that backing it up before this, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, when you're doing a huge focus on this, make sure that you are connected with those people that you want to do business with. And so, I know I did a huge social clean out, which, some agents are probably thinking, oh gosh,
Mhm.
Tiffany hates me. But I went back through and did a purge off of my Facebook. Now, wasn't so worried about that on Instagram, but on Facebook, where I am scrolling and I'm trying to connect with my clients, I got rid of all of the professionals. If they wouldn't sit at my table for Christmas dinner and they were not really close to me, or they were not agents in my office that are, rallying support all the time for each other, they got deleted off of my Facebook, which changed my algorithm tremendously. But when you're analyzing that, it doesn't matter when, 1,000 agents are active on social media. It matters when your actual people that you're trying to reach are. So that's a tip just to make sure that you're considering.
Yeah, that's a really great tip too because you want to see your past clients or future clients, their pictures. You want to comment on their kids, soccer game or awards and things like that, birthdays. I mean, if you don't have everybody's birthday in your spreadsheet, get it off of Facebook. You'll see it's Susan's birthday. You can comment on it, and that could prompt you to put it in your spreadsheet to send a card.
Yeah, and it's going to help boost your when you're doing the things that Ashley's talking about, but with reels, that's going to get in front of them as well. So that's kind of off topic from the
Hmm.
reels, but getting set up to be able to be successful, because you're going to put a ton of time and energy into this, is going to take a lot of time. But how are you making sure that these are reaching the right people, not just the optimal time for those people you're trying to reach?
Yeah. So when you're thinking about creating content, you want to be relatable. So I talked about, looking at other people's videos where they're going through kind of the same things as you are, but you can put your own twist on it and add your own story. So some of the trending audios, I love doing the funny ones, and but putting like an informative caption so that my people are still learning. I do have a lot of realtors who follow me, which is fine. I mean,
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if they're following you, especially Instagram. I think it's
mhm,
not as important as the Facebook algorithm. But yeah, so you're saying like you use a lot of the trending audio just to kind of further your reach. But I think having your face and your voice, your opinions, those kind of things to help people relate and be like, oh my gosh, yes,
mhm,
Ashley, like yes, that's totally how I feel about that. Or okay, these different home decor things that you're sharing are, you totally relate to those,
mhm.
or the things that are happening with your kids. And it doesn't have to be always good stuff. Which I feel like we as professionals want to assume that it's only good stuff, as long as it stays professional. Like, I don't know if you see my Facebook stories, we're late all the time. And when we're not late, I'm posting that we are on time, because and so people relating to me in my inbox right now, which this is stories, not reels, but relatability to be like, I'm struggling, and being able to say that I'm
Mhm.
struggling. People do want that to be able to relate.
Yeah, and I think too when people can relate with you, that's when they're going to feel that connection and then potentially do business with you.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh wow, Tiffany, she isn't just this like famous town realtor. She's a real person. She's a mom, she's a wife, a military spouse." So, I think that that really helps. I My other tip would be when you're being relatable, it's okay to mess up. So if you can always re-record. So number 1, but don't try to make it perfect. You're never going to like lip sync it perfectly. You're never going to love the way your face looks or your hair or whatever it is because you're your worst critic. So like kind of what I tell myself, this probably isn't the best mentality, but I'm like nobody's going to watch this. I've had videos go viral like 20,000, 30,000 plays, but know that that doesn't always convert into followers. You've got eyes on. You've had 20,000 views, but my following doesn't go up based on just that. So going viral is not the same as getting followers.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helps and encourage you, like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
my chances are real. You're saying there's a chance? Yes,
Yeah.
there's a chance. I think what you were just saying too, the like not being perfect, if I think about it when I'm scrolling, if I think someone messed up or I think that wait, was that a glitch on my phone? I will rewatch that. So
Mhm.
that probably already like the non-perfect approach to that is probably actually helping your watches
Yeah.
increase as well. So I'm not saying purposely do that, but also what's funny is we're recording different social stuff. It's like good enough. Is
Mhm.
it good enough to get out there? Is it showing who you really are and just being vulnerable? I think that that's a really hard thing because we come from kind of a season of plastically perfect social media, and that's really not where any of the actual growing people
Mhm.
on social media are at or what they're doing or what they're presenting.
Yeah. I also think that people are like just wanting to see themselves in you,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people who do the scrolling are not the people posting reels every day or even weekly. They're more so like behind the scenes, like I'll give you a like, I'll watch it. I'm scrolling, but I'm not really an active poster.
Well, I think when you're talking about that too, talk about like some of the stuff that you're actually posting then, because I think if we're trying to relate to clients, it really shouldn't be all about real estate then, what you were just saying. So,
Yeah, I think you definitely need a balance. I'll post, like a recipe or a local business or things that we're doing on the weekend. Like if I have one coming up on Rotary Park. That's like one of my favorite parks here in Clarksville, and it was just me recording like different areas of the hike, my kids walking, the dog, etc. But just being kind of like a a resource to
yeah,
your
local resource. Yeah.
to your community where people can go, things to do, and it shows that you're a real person. Like, oh, I'm going grocery shopping today. We grocery shop too, So it's like,
We eat food too.
yeah, like
Relatable.
just being relatable. Or like if you're going through a rough transaction, don't be afraid to talk about it. Like, gosh, I'm so exhausted. This buyer wanted to see a million homes and I just don't know if we're ever going to find the one. Like, you know, just telling your people that, so that it's not just people have the misconception. They watch Selling Sunset, they watch HGTV, and they're like, I can do that. But if you're in this business, it's way more than that. So not being afraid to talk about the struggle of real estate and also the positives. Hey, oh my gosh, I showed my client a million homes and we finally went under
Yeah,
contract.
that's what I was just gonna
That's
say
a
too.
success. It doesn't always have to be a negative vulnerability. It can be a positive.
Yeah, and you could even stream that into just one whole thing. Like it doesn't have to be like a cliffhanger of oh the doom and gloom kind of thing. And especially making sure that you're keeping clients confidentiality at
Hmm.
bay. Like that has to be a priority for you and obviously, you know, real estate law, etc. But another thing too to think about is that the content you're taking today does not have to be what's delivered tomorrow. So you should be content gathering, 365 days a year, but what actually gets put out does not have to be today. I know I have some stuff that's lingering from the beginning of summer that I'll be pushing out going into the fourth quarter.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be a today to actually implement scenario.
Another tip is what they call B-roll footage. So, as long as you are on these videos, you can easily provide value. It takes 2 seconds to record. You probably already have something on your phone that you can use. I made one yesterday. It was just like a view of a kitchen that I'm about to list that house, and so I put on there, if your lease is up in this month, you should be looking in these months for a home if you're considering closing by the end of the year. So it's an easy thing. I already had it on my phone because I posted it to my story like the other day.
Yeah, I had something an awesome house like years ago. I came across it. I was like, "Oh, I should use that." Like back when I wasn't using content. And then everyone's like, "Where's that house? I want to see that house." I'm like, "Oh, don't even remember where that house was."
Now you need to market that house and be like, I have
I
buyers.
have buyers. Whose house is this? I don't remember. But yeah, definitely using kind of like the that for like
Hmm.
back of a wordier reel
Yeah.
is a really good idea.
I've done that when like sitting at an open house, just me typing on my computer. And I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I'm like, I can use it for something. It's showing my face, it's showing me working, and I can educate my followers just by using that.
Yeah, so many different ideas. I think that another idea too, when when you're considering and you're scrolling, if something catches your eye, or if you follow somebody off of something, or if you know, will spend a couple different clicks within someone's profile, taking some of that stuff and recreating it, probably not the day after they post
Mhm.
it, but using it months later, that kind of concept. The trending audio is essentially people recycling that audio. Probably would not copy word for word, but a concept of, you know, the idea of, if you're trying to close by the end of the year, these are the months you should be looking. People are using that all the time. You kind of give it your own take on that.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely don't be afraid to copycat when there's millions and millions of those videos
Yeah.
circling around.
Especially the voiceover ones, because there's only so many ways you can do it. It's all about the words on the post, on the video, and then the caption. So um another thing you want to focus on too is making sure that your content is something that people will either want to bookmark or share. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm like, oh wow, this person 5 listing tips that maybe I didn't know about, I'm going to send that to Tiffany and be like, have you seen this? Have you thought of these before? Or I'll bookmark it for later that I can come back to and say, I need to either recreate that or I need to go back and watch this so I can implement those things into my business.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of our amateur tips too is for us personally recreating that, sending it into an inbox. Like if you have a person you're doing social media with pretty consistently, private message them and be like, here's an idea for later.
Yeah.
If you have a business page versus a personal page, send those ideas into there for an idea bank too. That way you're not like, where did that go? We did the video we needed the voiceover for Lisa, remember,
Mm-hmm.
at that coffee shop. We could not figure out where the voiceover was for this. I don't think it ever got posted, but if we would have shared that, you know, as a, hey, we need to be recording this idea, that would have been an easy way for us to be able to spend 5 minutes and get some content out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Another thing to post about too is just kind of like when you're sharing your story, post like what you learned from that experience, because people, again, it's that relatability, it's that rawness that you're sharing. And everybody has something that they can share. A lot of time, like I even think this too, where I'll scroll and I'm like, oh wow, this person's been through so much. I can't, their house burned down and their car got stolen and they have nothing now. Like, what's my story? Like, everybody has a story. It doesn't have to be this super dramatic thing. It can be just your day-to-day life, mom life.
Mine's the story of being late.
Yeah, hers is being late, and
Like
people like,
literally hashtag Tiffany time. If you follow it, you're going to see mostly me on there.
yeah, exactly. So it's like her thing is she's late and people relate, to
We're like,
that.
and it's not for lack of trying, guys. No judging. Not for lack of trying.
Are you trying though?
Wrong.
Try harder.
Try harder. Ma'am, for 40 plus years, I've been trying hard.
Oh
Okay.
my
It's
gosh.
in my DNA. No, it's just, prioritizing,
Yeah.
overbooking,
Yeah.
oversleeping.
Yeah. I think it's the sleep. It's the morning appointment.
I think it's excuse based. That's what it is.
Yeah, true.
What would you say your four easy video ideas? Like if you're trying to kind of kick it off and have a system in place,
Mhm.
what are four things that us as real estate professionals can be posting about?
So you definitely don't want it to all just be about real estate. Again, it's that relatability, trying to relate to your clients. So you can post yourself making dinner. You can post the recipe that you're making. Is it quick? Is it easy? Is it for busy moms? Is it for while you're moving? Is it, or, just thinking about what you do on the day to day. So recipes are a great thing. Talking about home decor, you could talk about like the different trends that are coming, the fall trends for 2023, um, etc. What's in your house, or what are things that you like? Maybe you take a picture off Amazon and you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to have this couch in my house.
Well, and I also think too, like if you're putting together or you're putting out seasonal decor, because we're going into those seasons, home decor based off of that, it doesn't even necessarily have to be stuff that is new that you've
Mhm.
purchased. Just the assembly of like the way you've done your mantle, your centerpiece and your table. But I do think you're going to get a lot of interaction to be like, okay, where did you get that?
Mhm.
So I think that some of it needs to be coupled with a new idea where you can send people the strategy of sending people to actually purchase and be able to relate through, doing the same thing that you're doing. So considering that, yes, it can be the stuff you already have, putting it out time in like time to decorate for fall.
Yeah.
But definitely be sharing if it's new stuff that you're purchasing too.
Well, and on that too, I've seen so many like fall DIYs, and that's kind of what I'm heading into with my social right now is making some of the things I've seen other people make on Instagram, like a fall arch and stuff. And just kind of step by step how to do that. Another thing people like to watch is cleaning. So cleaning tips, cleaning products. I just did a video on cleaning how to clean your dishwasher.
Ick.
Um, Tiffany texted me. She's like, "You're supposed to do that." So I don't even like. I ain't eating off your dishes anymore.
I had no idea that was a thing, but also that's disgusting. But I'll tell you, I watched it like 5 times.
Yeah.
You're welcome for that,
Thank
for
you.
those views.
I got 5 views on that one, so it explains a lot.
From your mom.
It's my mom, my real estate mom. And then another thing, you can do like a day in the life of a realtor. Remember that you don't have to do it all in one day. So say you only have one appointment today and you're showing 2 houses. Well, take a quick video of the 2 houses or like you getting out of your car. Maybe you have a listing coming up and you can batch that together. So don't feel like I have to have a full day to show my full day. Or maybe you only have a half day. So you're going to go on your appointment. You can record yourself typing on your computer, working at your office. Then maybe next week you have a listing and you can put the sign in the yard. You can get coffee. I mean, there's just so many different things that you can put in a day in the life video.
Well, I think even just day-to-day activities. So it doesn't even have to be a full day. You could come along and stage with me. Come along and view these houses with acreage. Come along and work with me at the office. It's so crazy that people relate to these things, but hello, I relate to them too. Like, these agents that are posting that, and I was like, that I don't know. I just feel like at home to be able to see those kind of things. So I think that four great ideas. So recipes, home decor, cleaning, and then just your day-to-day activities in different angles, etc. 4 great tips.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about too is kids watch other kids playing with toys on YouTube. So adults will watch other adults doing things on Reels.
Why are you bringing us down to that level?
I mean,
it's true though.
Yeah,
it's
but
true.
think about how many adults there are that play with the toys that are like making tons of money off of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
100%.
what?
But it's the same concept. But I'm like, let's not do that comparison here. Canceled.
Well,
but
people will watch it.
I used to get so frustrated with my kids, but we're like, wait, we're watching them play with adult toys, aka it would be home decor.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I would say the next step is just planning out your content. So you want to make sure that you're hitting a few different pillars of your content. So you're wanting things that people like tips that people can bookmark or send. You're wanting to be out local. A little bit about your business. You don't want your page to just be all business. So it's a lot of the education, and then just personal stuff. Building your brand is another one.
So how do you plan? So like if you're you're saying earlier you talked about using a posting platform, a program. So when you're sitting there and now it's not reactive and it's not like seat of your pants, how are you planning for success in Reels?
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I started. I've been posting Reels for a long time, but it was like seat of my pants posting. I created just a simple chart on Canva of like what day I'm posting, any notes I need to know about the reel and what the reel's about. So kind of like notes might be go to this coffee shop and get some content of a local business or post a recipe, easy recipe for dinner that people can bookmark because you can bookmark the recipe. I'm going to post that in the comment or in the description. So just kind of creating those pillars of what you want your page to look like. And we can also put it on our website or our social of like some different pillar ideas. That way you can hit all the areas of social and how you're going to be able to grow your following based on what you're posting about. But it's just a really simple page and I just fill it out. So I have an idea like, hey, post a pumpkin patch, post, showing houses, putting a sign in the yard, things. So I have an idea.
So is it for each idea, is it one page or is it the week that you're planning on one page?
I have the whole week planned. And then once I
on one page.
Yeah. And then once I record it, I highlight it and it's done. And it's scheduled. I don't highlight it until it's captions done, scheduled, videoed, edited, all of that.
Yeah. And how far are you planning? So like when you sit down, like, cause this is a Sunday to Saturday kind of thing, when you're planning for a specific Sunday to Saturday, how far in advance are you doing that, capturing and all of that to set you up for success?
So I had all of this week planned. I would really like to have like 2 to 3 weeks scheduled out,
Yeah.
because then it's just filling in the pieces. Like you can add your stories. Oh, I went to a coffee shop today, or the other day I got a flat tire, so I like made a story about that, even though I had content scheduled already. So you can just dabble in your stories and add to it.
Yeah, and I think too, like you're just getting started with this, but the more that you're doing and being more intentional about that, I think it's going to easily work itself out to be planned. The thing is that when you think you're ahead, you're not, and you have to continuously be capturing content to be delivering. So that would be, I'm really even starting with what do you already have to get started, because it's the now.
Mhm.
You can't go and spend 3 days to content grab to deliver this. But what do you have in the months past? Start with a plan, and writing out a plan without anything set to stone is going to plan to fail. So
Yeah. I would say those are just like the top tips that I have for now. I could talk about this forever. Different tools. Maybe we can do an episode on that, like editing and
yeah.
all of that.
Well, we'll dive into this quite a bit. Chelsea had a lot of really great ideas. We have more guests to come that will dive into it as well. But I think that we can all learn and grow together. I think that this is just a little bit of where we're being raw and vulnerable in this, and really making sure that we're taking an approach at Reels that does not have to do all about business.
Hmm.
Business can come from things that don't have to do with business for
Yes.
sure. So, all right, we're just going to give out your planning guide. Let's do that. Let's put
Yeah.
together the planning guide. So it's a Monday to Friday. Do you
So I
plan for
do,
the
it's
weekend?
Monday through Friday, and then there's just like a weekend box.
A weekend box too.
So
Okay.
I'm not super worried about posting on the weekends, because I feel like I can post stuff of like my kids doing things or whatever.
Like pre-planning it for
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. So we'll put that together. We'll put it on our website. That's a free download for you guys to go and grab. Where will we have that located?
realestateable.com/social media.
All right. Well, that's everything for today. We will see you guys next time. Make sure you follow us anywhere that you see us on social media, and we'll see you then. All right, guys, what a great episode. Ashlee just gave a ton of different ideas of how she's getting serious about Reels and growing her social media. I know I took away a ton of things. I think that using the social media planner to plan ahead, it seems super daunting to me, but I think that if I know for me in past things and goal oriented, if I'm writing it down, it's kind of a plan for success. So I'm going to implement that, download that, and implement for me. Probably a slow start for me, but I think getting organized and starting to gather and capture content
Mhm.
is my biggest takeaway. What about yours?
Well, I'm gonna have to hold you accountable, sounds like, for that that chart.
1000%.
um,
1000%.
but my biggest advice and takeaway would be to just do it. Don't be afraid the if it's not perfect. Don't be afraid if you don't look perfect or sound perfect. Just put something out there. That's all about your social media is about you. It's not about, you know, what other people think of you. Everyone's going to have an opinion. Just post it, get out of your comfort zone, and just do it.
Well, if you think about it, your clients already have proven that they like you. Like they already have proven that they trust you. They already like all of those things. It's like I'm still showing up. It's still me.
Mhm.
It's still happening. So I kind of have gotten past that. Video has become such a big thing for us in our industry. I've gotten past the fear of that. It's now the task of doing it. So it's like, okay, great, it's me. Hello, it's me. But the problem is me also, that I've got to actually have the content, and it's not even grabbing it. It's then implementing and putting it out there. So having a time block actually set for this, having a way to be able to strategize and set up for success, pre-plan for it, definitely hold me accountable.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, Tiffany. That's her other problem. It's the perfectionist in her.
So for more interventions, come join us next time on our next episode. But if you need accountability too, because obviously she's pointing that out about me. If you need accountability, literally partner up with someone, because there's so many people that need to get serious about this. This is such a cool thing. We were in a class recently, and the teacher was like, free. This is free way to reach millions of
Mhm.
people. You talk about budget friendly and you talk about different things in business planning for 2024. Remember this keyword. It's free and you
Yeah.
should be focusing on this more than spending money for this, that, and the other thing and different tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Definitely keep that in mind when you're like, is it worth it?
Yeah. My goal for 2024 is to be getting more business from social media.
Yeah.
That's why I'm implementing and trying things out now to see what works. Hopefully, I can have a report back to you guys on my findings. But yeah, big goal for me is free social media leads.
She's gonna be too busy to jump on here to hold me accountable. So this will become a
Your responsibility.
my responsibility. I'll see you guys next
Oh
time.
my gosh. Well, if you guys found this helpful, make sure you share it with a friend, give it a download, give it 5 stars. You can find us all over social, and we will see you next time.